cost breakdowns, all from that step file. And what's really impressive and really cool about this is that it's smooth 3D viewing directly in a web browser or even a mobile device. In fact, if you go to catop.io right now, you'll see this example here that we see on the left, and you could actually rotate that directly on the website to kind of get a preview of what this might look like for you or for your team. And you can do it via web browser, or like I said, you can even do it via mobile device. What's cool is that this is really the perfect tool for engineers, project managers, suppliers, really anybody who's trying to collaborate with you, because you're going to be able to get that information into the hands of the stakeholders immediately. It's going to be export ready in minutes rather than days. So any questions that come in for those members of your team, they're going to be able to answer them right from that catop.io app. So be sure to check out catop.io. Really cool solution here. And it's actually available right now for early access if you visit beta.catop.io as well. So if you want to get in there and kind of be a part of this thing at the ground up, you can make sure to check it out, beta.catop.io, or you can visit catop.io. So thank you so much to catop.io, and we'll learn a little bit more about catop.io here in just a couple more minutes. And last but not least, our good friends over at mysolidbox.com. Guys, we've been working with SolidBox for a long time. They provide professional CAD workstations for professional CAD users. And what SolidBox does is they help users get up and running fast by providing custom builds of servers, desktops, and laptops for SolidWorks users. And the way they're able to get such amazing results is they actually go through and strip out all of the bloatware from Windows and then reinstall a custom build of Windows that they have created in-house. They also go through and they tweak the settings in your BIOS. They make sure you've got the right kind of RAM, the right kind of hard drive, and really just kind of take care of all those things that you might struggle working with your IT department to get accomplished. I mean, how many times have you had a new computer and you have to go to IT and say like, hey, I think there's some settings in here that aren't really configured correctly, or I don't know if you got me the fastest RAM or the correct RAM for what I'm trying to do here. So that's what the team at SolidBox will really help you take care of. You can kind of let the IT team know that you got it, it's covered, you don't need to work with them anymore on CAD hardware. And they're also staffed by a skilled and experienced support team of hardware experts. And so what this means is that a lot of times when somebody becomes a customer of SolidBox, they really become a customer for life. So huge shout out to our friends over at SolidBox, and thank you for the continued support of these tournaments. They've been a sponsor of the tournament for a long time, good friends of the Too Tall Toby community, and just a really nice group of guys as well. Thank you so much to all of our sponsors. Without you, we could not have these amazing tournaments. Now, let's get into the action. Guys, if you're out there and you want to support, be sure to like, be sure to subscribe, be sure to share and reshare, and be sure to sign up for a free account over at tootalltoby.com. Let's talk a little bit about how these matches are going to work. We're going to start out here with one of our competitors and another of our competitors that we have put together using our patent-pending technology on how to seed a tournament. Then we are going to show them a 2D drawing, and they are going to attempt to turn that 2D drawing into a 3D model. They're going to try to calculate the mass, and they're going to try to enter that mass directly into the YouTube chat. So that means all of us get to watch. We get to see the drawing revealed, we get to see how they're thinking through these challenges, and we get to see what answer they come up with. The rules of this tournament are for the runners that it's a best of 3 battles. You have to win 2 points in order to advance into the round of 8, the Elite 8. And if the runners answer incorrectly, I'm going to tell them, I'm sorry, that answer is incorrect, and they can continue trying to solve the model. So the runners may submit 1 incorrect answer, and then they can continue trying to solve the model. If they submit a second incorrect answer, I'm sorry, but they cannot win the point for this battle. Okay, so their opponent still has to win the point, but the current runner can no longer win that point. They become ineligible. The rules for the chat, so for all of you out there watching, the rules for the chat are that you can play along, but please do not help. And so what that means is, you know, if you want to take a screen capture when I show the drawing, do it. I think that's awesome. If you want to try to model it up in your CAD, maybe you're using FreeCAD. Shout out to all the FreeCAD users. If maybe you're using FreeCAD and you want to try to model up that part, do it. I think that's awesome. It's a great way to practice your CAD skills. But do not answer in the chat. Don't post the answer in the chat. and don't help the runners. If you're watching and you realize like, oh, he forgot to fill it, or he should have shelled that, don't type that into the chat. Today, these guys are the stars, so we're going to let them shine. They've worked very hard to get to this point, so we're definitely going to let them shine. What you can do, if you solve it and you want to flex a little bit for the rest of the chat, you can do what Jern is doing over here, or what Ricardo Jean is doing. You can just type in something like, I got it. I got it. Something like that. That's a great way for you to flex, to kind of let the rest of the chat know that you solved it, that your CAD wizardry skills are locked in, and that you were able to come up with the correct answer. That's a really good way to kind of let people know that you got it. A little bit of a flex there, but without spoiling it for our runners. Like I said, they've worked really hard to get here, so let's give them a chance to shine. And FPV Kev says, I don't got it. Yeah, all right. And Cherie says, I'm just here to watch. Awesome. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. All right, guys. Well, here we go. We're going to get into our first matches now. And with these first matches, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be seeing a matchup here between our number 1 seed, Sebastian, and our number 14 seed, Het Patal. So this is going to be really interesting. I'm very excited to see how this match goes down. Now, before we actually get into the match itself, what we're going to do is we're just going to run a little bit of practice. And the reason that we're going to be doing this practice is to make sure that our runners have everything that they need as far as the technical aspect of this production goes. And we also want to make sure that we over here at Too Tall Toby have everything that we need. So for some of you, this may be the first time that you've ever seen Katia in action. For some of you, this may be the first time you've ever seen OnShape in action. So I hope that you guys enjoy this. And here we go. This is going to be our first practice battle. I'm going to flip over to full screen. And now as soon as I show the 2D print, our runners are going to try to grab a screen capture, and they're going to try to begin modeling up this part. So this first practice battle between these two runners begins in 3, 2, 1, go! What is the mass of this part in XXX grams? So this is just a tech check. We're just making sure that our runners have everything that they need, and we're gonna let them grab a screen capture. So Het Patal is grabbing a screen capture. Sebastian is grabbing a screen capture. And now we're gonna take a look at this CAD versus CAD. This is a little bit of a simple model. Maybe Sebastian, maybe you could just model that up again just to let everybody kind of see what that workflow looks like in Katia. Not everybody has seen Katia before. This will give everybody a kind of a chance to see it. He went through it so fast there. Sebastian is our number 1 seed. So we're going to expect him. So in this case, if this was for points, we would say, congratulations, Sebastian, you earned that first point, and now you need to earn a second point in order to move on. Of course, this is just for practice. We're just making sure that we got our tech check correct. That's hard to say, tech check correct. So, all right, guys, let's go back here, and let's take a look now at our official first battle. Now, the way that we do these battles is we want to make sure that it's truly fair. And in order to make sure that it's truly fair, we're going to randomize things a little bit for our runners. And in order to randomize things for our runners, we have another very special sponsor, a Wheel of Fate sponsor, guys, an official Wheel of Fate sponsor. For this tournament, our Wheel of Fate sponsor is none other than Plasticity. If you guys haven't seen Plasticity before, well, you are in for a treat, because they provide solutions for any users out there that are trying to work with surfacing. So surfacing modeling, they have advanced and Class A surfacing to sculpt beautiful production-ready geometry. They have easy interoperability. You can export directly into your CAD system, and there's no subscriptions. Once you buy it, you own the tools, no strings attached. You can visit them at plasticity.xyz, and congratulations to Plasticity for becoming the sponsor. It's awesome. Guys got a great color scheme here too for the wheel. Guys, I'm going to shuffle this up a little bit. If you're out there watching and you want to prove your clairvoyant skills, your ability to predict the future, this is your chance, okay? I'm going to shuffle this up, but you can see we've got 1, 2, 4, 8, 9, 10, and 11 on this wheel. And the question here is, what drawing are our runners going to get? What does the Wheel of Fate have in store for our runners? Sometimes the Wheel of Fate can be very cruel. So we're going to see here, what does the Wheel of Fate have in store for our runners? And we see here FPV Kev, or sorry, Jim Yu said 8, thinks it's going to be 8. FPV Kev 11. Mr. Mesa says all the kids in the class say 11. Shout out to Mr. Mesa's class today. Sebastian says 9. Let's see here. Pico Boo says 4. Victor K says 11. Cool J says it's got to be 9. Matab says 1. Vicky Chong says 2. Najek Models says 10. Gummy says 11. Oh, I like this. I like this spread. Let's see here. Ludwig 4. Guntis 8. Rambros Workshop World Champion of 3D CAD Speed Modeling 2024. Current reigning world champion is in the chat, guys. Say hello to Rambros Workshop. Jern, he says 9. Jern D says 11. FEV Kev says 2. SMT 6. Penetrator says 2. And Ben says 2. Zometry in the chat. Guys, give a shout out to Zometry in the chat. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining us today. Says 4. And Het Patel says 9. Lars says 4. All right, guys, let's find out what the Wheel of Fate has in store. Here we go. Our first challenge for this CAD vs. CAD tournament is going to be, oh, wow. Our first challenge is going to be the first challenge in the library. Let's go, drawing number 1. So we're going to get drawing number 1 ready here. And while we do, we're going to learn just a little bit more about our runners. So you can see here that Sebastian on the left is our number 1 seed. And what's this? Sebastian is also the head developer at cadop.io and founder, inventor, creator. What a talented guy. If he develops a product that can help save time, if anybody was going to help develop a product that can save time on CAD documentation like cadop.io, I would want it to be the fastest speed modeler in the tournament. So good job, Sebastian, and thanks for the sponsorship of the tournament. Congratulations getting number 1 seed. And here's some other facts about Sebastian you might not have known. He started using CATIA in 2011. His biggest fear is click OK to terminate, and he runs a CAD automation startup focused on streamlining engineering workflows. Nice. Way to go, Sebastian. So that is awesome, and congratulations to Sebastian for starting that up and releasing it. I know it is a ton of work to actually get that out, and he was really setting some goals for himself and accomplished those goals, and that's what it's all about, man. Good job. And Hepatal says he started using CAD just back in 2023, so fairly new to CAD, and started with AutoCAD. But then he said, you know what, AutoCAD's not enough, so I'm going to learn SolidWorks, Onshape Fusion, and Solid Edge. But he still has even more to go. He wants to learn some other ones. Learn some FreeCAD, some IronCAD. He wants to learn plasticity. He just wants to learn them all. And he also completed his undergrad diploma in mechanical engineering this year and is now going to do his major in engineering. That is awesome, Het. So congratulations to Het Patel. Guys, if you have any advice for Het Patel, newcomer to the tournament, first time in the tournament, if you have any advice for him, reach out. Type it in the chat right now. We're working with the production team right now to make sure that we've got this next challenge ready to go. So this is a good time just to take a moment, type into the chat some advice you have for Het Patel, first time running, especially those of you who have been in the tournament before. Always good to get advice from people. All right. Drink lots of water. Oh, I like that. Drink lots of water to cool down. Do jumping jacks to release some energy. Yo, this is fantastic advice, guys. And Ricardo Jean just says, Cobra CAD, never die. Yes, that is very true. Cobra CAD, never sad. All right, guys. Well, that's it for the advice section of today's live stream. And now we get into our very first battle of the day. Good luck to Sebastian. Good luck to Het Patel. Here we go. This CAD vs. CAD battle featuring Sebastian from Germany running CATIA, our number 1 seed, going up against Het Patel from India running Onshape, our number 14 seed, begins in 3, 2, 1, go! What is the mass of this part in XXXX grams? This part is made from 1060 aluminum. It is called slider wedge. It's some kind of an insert that you'd put in some type of machinery to maybe lock things in place or slide along in a certain groove. And both of our runners are grabbing a screen capture. If you're out there watching and you want to grab a screen capture, you go for it. Both of our runners are grabbing a screen capture, and both of our runners are jumping into their CAD systems to try to figure out their game plan. They've never seen this drawing before, and now they're going to try and turn this drawing into a nice, fully defined model, apply the correct material, and calculate the mass correctly. And wow, look at Sebastian on the left running CATIA, and already going through and modeling up the main shape, the main kind of wedge shape, and even looks like he's modeling kind of those little wings. I'm just going to call them wings that are sticking out on the side. On the right, we see Het Patel using on shape, and we see that what Het is doing is it looks like he's modeling this thing up. He's decided to put the origin in the lower left corner there, and then he's just going to kind of model up this part with that dimensions that are on the print. And we're going to see if maybe he tries to use some symmetry on this part, or if he goes in and maybe uses some angle dimensions to lock this thing down. Looks like he's going to try and go with some symmetry. Look at that. Very nice to lock that all down. And now we see here that he's going to be extruding. And wow, looks like Sebastian is in a preview mode. And I can't tell who got first blood there. It looks like maybe Het Patel draws first blood, taking that geometry, turning into a solid first. Yes, and now we see Sebastian catching up with him and creating that geometry as solid geometry on the left. So Het Patel already in there creating a solid model and getting on to that second feature, the wings. Meanwhile, we see that Sebastian decided to extrude the first shape and then add the wings right away. Now he's adding in that groove there. Wow, and look how quickly Sebastian was able to mirror that geometry. And guys, I think we might be seeing an answer coming in here pretty quickly. We're going to be keeping an eye on the chat. And there we see the answer comes in from Sebastian, and that answer is 1402 grams, and that is not correct. 1402 grams, that is not correct. So Sebastian entered the answer first, got way ahead, but maybe was missing a dimension or designed something incorrectly. And wow, 1402 grams or 1403 grams, either way, that is not correct within tolerance. And so Sebastian now going through and panicking a little bit. He may have opened the door here for Het Patel. Wow. 1402 is not correct. Rambro's Workshop in the chat says, you can do this. So Sebastian, our number 1 seed, possibly opening the door here for Het Patel, our number 14 seed. But you can see Het Patel is maybe struggling a little bit too here. Decided to do, look like an offset face there. And we're going to see what's going on. Looks like Sebastian may be going for a second attempt at this thing. It's always dangerous to answer that second time. It's always a little bit scary after you answer the first time. You know that if you answer incorrectly the second time, that's it. You're not going to be in. And so it looks like maybe Sebastian is going back and double checking. He just wants to make sure. It's the very first match here. He's looking at what's going on Het Patel's screen, and he's saying, I think I might have a little bit of time. You never know, though. You know, you got to be, that's a dangerous game. You never know what's going on with the lag. But it looks like Sebastian did come in with an answer. I apologize, chat. I looked away for a second there. Sebastian comes in with the answer, 1492 grams, and that is correct. So congratulations to Sebastian. I apologize there. Thank you, chat, for helping me out there. 1492, a famous year in American history. 1492, and that is correct. So congratulations to Sebastian. I apologize, I didn't see how that number came in, but that is correct. And thank you also to the chat there. Jern says Het Patel has 2 wins. My bad. Guys, congratulations. What a great first match there. These parts here in the first couple of rounds are going to be what we call Tier 3 models. Tier 3 models. They're not as difficult. They're going to gradually get harder and harder. There's a couple of Tier 4 models sprinkled throughout this match, but they're all going to basically be Tier 3 models. Tier 3 and Tier 4 models here in this round of 16. And then we're going to see that they're going to gradually get it, you know, a little bit harder. I like that structure because it's almost like you have to battle your way through the round of 16. It's almost like an additional qualifier. There's like that extra little bit of wild card there in the round of 16 where it's all about like being able to quickly get in there, map out your design and do your extrusions. And I remember talking to our very first world champion, Ivan the Reasonable, and he had said that he actually prefers those later rounds. He feels like they favor him a little bit more just because of all his experience manufacturing and designing, where the earlier rounds favor maybe the users who just have that really, really fast twitch muscle, you know, are really able to quickly get in there and get through and model up those features. So I thought that was an interesting comment from Ivan. But that is where we are in the tournament right now. We're in this round of 16, and the models are going to be a little bit on the easier side compared to what we're going to see once we get to the final 8, the final 4, and of course our official championship match. Guys, congratulations to the winner. Put a GG in the chat for Sebastian, and let's head back to the Wheel of Fate and see what it has in store here. We're gonna take a look at the Wheel of Fate here, and we're gonna use this to randomize our next challenge, and we're gonna find out what our next challenge has in store for these runners. What's it going to be? Is it going to be sheet metal? Is it going to be some kind of wood construction? Is it going to be an injection molded part? You know, what does the wheel have in store for our runners? So it looks like Vicky thinks it's going to be drawing number 4. I think that's a good guess. Yeah. Pico Boo thinks it's going to be 4. Rambros thinks 2. Jim Yu thinks 8. Matab thinks 2. Gummy thinks 2. Who guessed 1 earlier? Did anybody guess 1 when we did it earlier? I saw some 11s earlier. 1 minute. Yeah. I don't know if anybody did guess 1 earlier. So nobody's got clairvoyance yet. Let's see if anybody has it this time. Here we go, guys. Let's give this thing a rip. I like how that plasticity P looks as the Wheel of Fate is spinning around. Oh, Jern. Let's go. I like it. Looks like it was Jern who predicted 11 and no one else, just Jern. So congratulations to Jern. Well done, my friend. And we're going to see another really cool battle here. This is a great model to see here in the tournament. So let's go on and learn just a little bit more about our runners. You know, Sebastian started using Katia in 2011. He has a dog and he loves pizza. Nice. Oh, and he's also passionate about making Neapolitan-style pizza, my favorite one. Wow, he really does love pizza. And Hepatal says, started using AutoCAD in 2023 with AutoCAD. This is his first ever CAD tournament online. And he loves Formula One and is a big fan of Sebastian Vettel. Nice. You know, I think you're gonna have a lot of fans in the audience if that's what you are a big fan of. So very nice, very nice. So guys, we're just waiting for the production crew here to get ready with this next challenge, but I think they're almost done. And we're gonna see another epic CAD versus CAD battle here in just a moment. Good luck to Hepatal. Your first tournament here. We often see Sebastian posting speed running videos on his YouTube channel. And so good luck. It's going to be a tough battle, but it's really anybody's game. You just got to take down these next 2 points. Whoever gets the first 2 points is going to move on to the round of 8. So good luck to both of our runners. This next CAD vs. CAD battle featuring Sebastian, our #1 seed from Germany using Katia, going up against Hepatal, our #14 seed from India using Onshape. Begins in 3, 2, 1, go! What is the mass of this part in x.xxx pounds? The tolerance on this one is plus or minus 0.003 pounds. This is in inches, and the material is plain carbon steel. Our runners have to look at this print. They have to grab a screen capture. They have to come up with a game plan, and then they are almost immediately jumping into their 3D CAD with their game plan. So here we see our runners. Here we see our runners in their 3D CAD. One of the first things you got to do is make sure you got your units correct. And so, of course, if you have any kind of template or anything set up to help you with that, that will definitely speed along that process. But we see here that Sebastian is taking an approach here, looking at this thing from the right side view, kind of looking in, drawing up that little channel. This is some kind of a sliding jig made out of metal. I forget which metal it's made out of steel. And we can see here that Sebastian is going through and he's modeling that thing up from that right side view, kind of drawing in all that geometry, and I'm willing to bet he's going to extrude it. And we see that Hepatal on the right is taking a very similar approach. Hepatal getting in here and creating this geometry, looking in from the right. I love the way that he is using Onshape and using those multiple contours and not worrying about trimming it up or anything. He's just going to click that contour and turn it right into an extrusion. And it looks like Hepatal is going to take first blood in this battle. Very nice, my friend. Well done. So he gets that first boss extruded. He's the first runner here to have some solid geometry in this thing. And now we see that he's going to be moving on to create his next set of features. Looks like he's going to move on to creating that hole that's moving down from the top. And now we see Sebastian gets his first solid geometry in place. So his first solid geometry looks like it was that kind of C-shaped bracket, the thing that might slide in this sliding jig. And it looks like he's struggling a little bit to get his second set of geometry extruded. Maybe he's missing a line or something there that he needs to add. I'm not sure of all of the requirements of CATIA, not a CATIA expert, but we'll see how Sebastian deals with this. Meanwhile, Sept has already moved on, created that first feature, and now has created his second feature in creating that hole. And it looks like he's going to use the midpoint of that main feature to kind of center that next feature, that little bridging feature. On the left, we see that it looks like Sebastian was able to get that sketch resolved. Now he's able to turn that into a solid, and now he's moving on to extrude that third solid. We'll see what he does with that third solid with regards to getting those fillets in place on that thing. I like how he's able just to go through in CATIA and just kind of add in some math to get the geometry to line up the way he needs. Oh, look at that. We got that fillet on that back section of this jig, and now jumping into some type of a hole tool and adding a hole, centering that hole there on that circular edge, getting that hole in place, mirroring this whole thing, and looks like Sebastian may be moving down the home stretch. We see Sept on the other side, though, still going through. It's never over until it's over, and we saw last time that Sebastian did submit an incorrect answer, so we'll see if he does it again this time. Sebastian looking through his math calculator, and we're going to be watching the chat to see if an answer comes in from Sebastian. And Sept on the right getting that kind of slot shape extruded. Looking at the chat here, I'm not seeing the answer come in. And there it is. Sebastian comes in with an answer, 2.334 pounds, and that is not correct. That is not correct. So Sebastian coming in with an incorrect answer here now needs to go through his model. He needs to check all the dimensions. He's looking at the drawing, but this may once again open the door for Sept to come in with an upset. All eyes on Sept now. Is he going to be able to get this geometry extruded to the height that he needs it to? Is he going to be able to bridge that geometry while Sebastian is trying to run down this error? Matab in the chat says, I got it. And Jern and Matab are both saying, I see it. You notice how they're not telling him what is wrong. They're just letting him know that they know. I'm sure that really helps. But of course, we don't want to spoil it for these guys. We want to make sure that they all have a fair chance to get through and get this thing modeled up. And we're keeping an eye out on the chat here. We're keeping an eye on... it looks like... Sept on the right using OnShape was able to section. I like the way he created that back section. Kev saying that it's easy to miss something that looks obvious to the viewers. Yeah, and Matab saying that was nice. It was nice model there. Thank you, Matab. Yeah, that's a little bit of a meta comment, I know, but I think that Matab is referencing the fact that sometimes these models can have just like little subtle tweaks to the way that the dimensions are shown, and that can definitely make it a little bit easier or a little more difficult to figure out what the correct answer is. Sebastian, he's going to fire off his second bullet here, coming into the chat. 2.052 pounds. And that is correct. And Sebastian becomes our first winner of the day to move on to the round of 8. Congratulations to Sebastian. Well done, my friend. Our number 1 seed is going to be moving on to the round of 8. And guys, if you look at the tournament bracket, there are no easy paths really to get to the finals. All of our brackets have some, and it's absolutely an awesome tournament this year. But I want to just remind you to please put a GG in the chat for our winner, but also put a GG in the chat for Sept. This is his very first tournament here with us, and I'm so excited to have him in here with all of us. So put a GG in the chat for our winner, Sebastian, moving on to the round of 8. Put a GG in the chat for Sept. I know that we're going to see him back here in a future tournament, and nice job, Sept, for being here in your very first tournament. Very, very nice job. And guys, just give me 1 second here. I'm just going to fix up something on the screen. You can see that both of our runners are giving you a little bit of a show here with their models. We like that. We like that. And let me just take a quick adjustment here on something. All right. And guys, what a cool match. What a fun match there. Great to see some new users here in the world of Too Tall Toby. Congratulations so much, and congratulations for making it here to this tournament to qualify through to this tournament. And GG to the Victory Cat as well, says Rambro's Workshop. Yes, that's absolutely correct, my friend. But really, truly, GG to both of our runners. Congratulations. And I know that we're going to see these runners again. We're going to see Het Patel again in the future. Well done, my friend. So guys, with that, we're going to move on to the second half of the show and move into our second battles. Excuse me. I just want to remind you to take a moment to support the channel, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share and reshare, and of course, sign up for a free account over at tootalltoby.com. It really goes a long way, especially if you can sign up for that free account, do some of the models for free, and then sign up for Practice Models Premium. We would love to have you as a member on the Too Tall Toby platform. And what is Practice Models Premium? Well, Practice Models Premium is a way for everyone in the chat. Oh, whoops. I noticed something that happened in the chat here, guys. I want to just give a quick shout out. Looks like we had somebody join the channel. Here we go. Yo, Shiri, thank you. Shri, thank you so much for joining the channel. Join the channel at Buy Me a Seltzer Water. Very much appreciated. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So the super chat is open. If you guys are interested in doing super chat, we really appreciate that. And that goes a long way towards keeping these tournaments going as well. But another way that you can support the channel is kind of a win-win. You can get yourself some practice over at the Practice Models app at tootalltoby.com. You can get started for free, and then if you like what you see, you can sign up for our Practice Models Premium service, where you can unlock over 230 2D to 3D CAD challenges. And what these CAD challenges are is we show you a drawing, and we challenge you to try to model up that part using your CAD system. Maybe it's FreeCAD, maybe it's Onshape, maybe it's SolidWorks, maybe it's Fusion. You know, whatever CAD system you're using, you can get in there and you can model it up. And a lot of these parts are actually 3D printable parts. Like this part here that we're looking at, this is, I drew this thing up and 3D printed it. I use this all the time. Just a simple little phone stand. You know, it's got a hole in the bottom there for your cables to feed through. But I use this thing all the time. And it's really cool that you can learn how to draw stuff up so that you can use those parts in the real world. So you can take those parts and, you know, print them out on your printer. We've also got a library of speed runs in the Practice Models app, so you can see how other members of the community are modeling these things. Maybe it's a model that took you, you know, the average time for this one is 27 minutes, and maybe there's some people in here who are modeling it in 43 seconds. You know, that's pretty impressive. They're not only modeling it in 43 seconds, but they're actually posting a video that you can watch, so you can see how they got through so quickly. And if that's in your CAD system, that can be a hugely beneficial resource. You know, that could definitely help you kind of look for tips and tricks and ways for you to be more efficient in SolidWorks or Compass 3D or CATIA or Onshape or Fusion or whatever other CAD systems are in there. And of course, we've got some gamification on here. We've got our top 100 leaderboard. Looks like I was number 120 out of 1,032 for this model. So I maybe want to go in and use the try again and get a little bit faster. And we've got filters. I mentioned this earlier. We got filters for this is another one that's on the website. It's 3D printable, and what this one lets you do is it's a dust collector. So if you're drilling into drywall, this will let you kind of catch that drywall dust. So different models on there that can be 3D printed, that can actually be functional tools, and of course a lot of other model types as well. It's a great site if you're an existing user and you're trying to refine your skills or learn about other areas of the software. It's a really good solution. You can get started for free, and then you can upgrade to Practice Models Premium and access that entire library. So if you guys like what we're doing here in the tournament, this is a cool way to kind of get some additional practice going from 2D to 3D. And guys, I want to say a huge thank you to all the super chat that came in during that little intermission. FPV Kev coming in with €5. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Very much appreciate it. Victor K coming in with $10 USD. Thank you, my friend. All aboard. The super chat train incoming. Let's go. And Jim U. Kerberos coming in with knock 100. Yo, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Guys, I really appreciate it. This is another great way to make sure that these tournaments keep on rolling on, and it really means a lot to us. So thank you. Thank you all so much. You guys are the best. The best community in the world. No qualification, just the best. That's all there is to it. All right, guys, let's continue on with our tournament now. Congratulations to Sebastian joining Mr. Alex and Dom in our Elite 8. Let's see what happens over here on this side of the bracket. We got Ricardo Jean. Now, remember, Ricardo won the Spring Open earlier to the round of 8. He's looking to become the first tournament champion to win multiple titles. So we'll see how he does. And Ludwig in the chat coming in with SEK20. Thank you, says Choo Choo. Thank you, my friend. Very much appreciate it. Thank you. We're going to see Ricardo Jean here going up against Will G. Now, this is a SolidWorks versus SolidWorks battle. It's Italy versus France, and it's our number 2 seed versus our number 15. Will G is a newcomer to the tournament, so we don't really know what he's got in store for us, but we're all very excited to see what he does with the SolidWorks software against Ricardo Jean. So here we go. We're going to do a quick practice round here. The reason we do this practice round is just to kind of do a quick tech check. We want to make sure that the guys know how to take a screen capture, how to model up the part, and how to enter their answer into the chat. At the same time, we just want to make sure that we've got everything set up correctly. Like last time, we had those extra wins on one of the runner. Those are the things we're going to look out for. So if you guys happen to see anything that looks out of line, you just let me know. And otherwise, we're going to get into this first practice here. This first practice battle begins in $10 USD. Thank you. Wow. Thank you. That means so much to me. And thank you for continuing to educate the next generation. It's awesome. He's teaching. He's supporting. That's what's up, man. Shout out to Mr. Mesa. All right, guys, here we go. This first practice battle begins in 3, 2, 1, go. So this is just a tech check. Both of our runners are going to grab a screen capture of this part. I'm going to take a quick sip of my coffee. And then what they're going to do is they're going to jump into SolidWorks. So here we can see in SolidWorks, we've got Ricardo Jean on the left. We've got Will G on the right. And what they're doing here is they're both trying to model up this part. So they're both trying to model up this part, get this part ready to go. And we see here, Matab says, I don't know if I should do it along with them or watch them. Ricardo Jean comes into the chat, says he thinks that the mass is 107 grams. And we see here that Will G is grabbing the mass as well. And he's going to copy and paste that and drop that into the chat and let us know what he thinks it is. There it is. Will G coming in with 107 grams. So that is it. That's it. It's perfect. That is exactly it. Will G is Will Grams. Will Grams coming in with grams. I like it. I like it. All right, guys, that's it for our quick tech check. We just wanted to make sure that everything looked good, everything was working correctly, and let's get into it here. Actually, Will G, if you could, I see you have that mass properties down on the far lower left. I don't know if you can move that over at all. I think that'll help with cropping the screen. That mass properties box far lower left. It's like just to the left of your main screen. Yeah, if you could just maybe scoot that over. Yeah, there you go. Gets it back to full screen. Thank you, my friend. All right. There we go. That's why we do the tech check. It works. All the systems are working. This is good. Yep. Thank you, my friend. That is excellent. I'll move back to the Wheel of Fate. We got to find out what the Wheel of Fate has in store for these runners. Thank you again to our new sponsor of the Wheel of Fate, Plasticity. If you guys haven't checked them out before, visit them at www.plasticity.xyz. And, of course, let them know that Too Tall Toby sent you. Always appreciate those referrals. So, guys, let's see what this next one is going to be. We got FPV Kev 7, Jern 2, Matab 2, Jim U 8, Sebastian 9, Rambro's Workshop 9, John G 2, Gummy 10, Namatar, what's up? Welcome. 9. And Guntis 8, Vicky Chong 9. And Guntis says, I predict the guy from Europe will win. All right, there you go. All right, and Ben is here, says 4. And Shibsi says 10. And Zometry says, feeling good about 02. Let's give this thing a rip and see what happens. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Okay, we got a good one here. All right, so drawing number 4 is going to be what the Wheel of Fate has in store for these runners, and I can't wait to see how they handle this one. So, guys, let's just learn a little bit about Ricardo Jean. Now, again, we said earlier, he is our winner that's in the tournament today. Ricardo Jean won the Spring Open earlier this year, and he's going to try to become the first dual belt holder, dual tournament winner here during this tournament. his first fun fact. That's such a great way to start things, and such an important element of success for anyone. So congratulations to Ricardo for that. It says using SolidWorks since the 2006 version, so 18 years of CAD. Wow. And also my brother and father are designers with SolidWorks, so runs in the family. That's pretty cool. And he's Brazilian and Italian and speaks fluently in both languages. Wow, that is impressive. So good luck to Ricardo Jean. And Will G, he says, I mostly design staircases. Well, that is some tricky geometry. If you guys have ever tried to design a staircase, you got a lot going on there. You got fabrication, you got sweeps and lofts, you got helices. So you've got all kinds of crazy geometry when you design staircases. And especially if you get into staircases that have a lot of, the word's escaping me, but you know, like decorative. If you get into like a lot of decorative banisters and things like that, you could really run into some pretty complex geometry. So that's pretty cool. Been self-employed since the start of 2025. Congratulations, Will G. And also teaches SolidWorks. Wow. Okay. So that's pretty interesting. That's a little bit of a wild card there. So good luck. We've got a teacher here who probably knows all the ins and outs of SolidWorks. We got Ricardo Jean here, kind of an experienced tournament veteran, been in several tournaments in the past. And wow, look at this in the chat. Theo Tame says, Will G designed my staircase, and I love it. You know, that's awesome. Real-time referral there. That's pretty cool. So guys, listen, I'm going to get my, I'm going to work with the production team, get this next challenge ready. Let's take a look at our Hypershock video again. This is again from our newer sponsor from Xometry, and Xometry can help you if you ever need to get custom parts made, whether it's one single part or a full run of many parts. Xometry.com is the website, and let's take a look at how they helped the team from Hypershock, the BattleBots competitor.
Hi, I'm Will Bales.
And I'm Alex Bales. Together, we engineer crazy fighting robots. Getting custom parts is key to everything we do.
That's why we choose Xometry to get on-demand custom manufacturing for prototyping and production.
They offer dozens of processes like 3D printing, CNC machining, and sheet cutting.
Plus, Xometry's huge network creates massive capacity for production and reliable supply chains.
Get started with Xometry today.
Xometry, where big ideas are built.
So pretty cool stuff. It always brings a smile on my face to see the BattleBots stuff. One of my roommates and I used to watch BattleBots so much. We watched every season that they had available, and you know, really enjoyed watching them together. So cool. Metav says, I love milling machines. Yo, nice. That's what's up. All right, guys. Well, that's it. Let's get into our next battle here. Here we go. I hope you guys have had a chance to kind of shake off the nerves. The guys who compete in the second half of the show, they get to kind of like shake it off a little bit. They've maybe done some practice. Wipe the sweat off your hands. Here we go. Let's work. Ricardo Jean says, let's work. Let's get to it. So this CAD vs. CAD battle featuring Ricardo Jean, our #2 seed from Italy, using SolidWorks, going up against Will G, our #15 seed from France, using SolidWorks. This CAD vs. CAD battle begins in 3, 2, 1, go! What is the mass of this part in XXXX grams? The tolerance for this part is plus or minus 2 grams, and this is our tier 4 part in the mix. So, wow, good luck to both of our runners. Both of our runners are grabbing a screen capture. Both of our runners are jumping into their CAD system and trying to come up with a game plan. And if we flip over to the CAD vs. CAD action, we can see Ricardo Jean on the left using SolidWorks, starting on the top plane, sketching a circle. We see Will G on the right using SolidWorks, starting on the top plane and sketching a circle. Now, looks like both of them have kind of stalled out here a little. They're kind of trying to decide, oh, wait a second, where do I go from here? This is probably the most tricky model that we've seen here in the tournament so far. This is our only tier 4, I believe our only tier 4 model in the mix. Certainly it's the first tier 4 model that we've seen so far in the tournament. And Ricardo Jean looks like he's going to start out by doing an extrusion and drawing first blood with that first extrusion. He's decided to create that kind of tab shape first, and now it looks like he's jumping into a circular pattern of that tabbed shape. So he gets in there, does a circular pattern, realizes he did 4 instead of 3, and then takes that circular pattern. He did it with a body. When you do a circular pattern of a body, it does not combine, so he had to do that extra combine afterwards, but he was ready for it. It didn't slow him down at all. And we see, interestingly, it looks like Will G decided to kind of either go back or add another feature here where he's creating a revolved shape. So this is a really interesting approach here. And honestly, when I was doing this model and kind of testing this model, that was more what I gravitated towards, was doing the revolve shape rather than doing it as an extrusion. So I was very surprised to see both of them starting out kind of looking down from the top. But this is where maybe having a game plan comes in handy. You know, we'll see if doing things from the top down is gonna end up costing Ricardo Jean, or if he's gonna be able to navigate through it. It's a little bit tricky because this part has draft on that outer rim. That outer rim is really a conical shape, more so than just a straight cylinder. So it is a little bit tricky here to create some of this geometry, but I think that both of our runners at least have a game plan and they're getting into it. We see Ricardo Jean looks like he's doing some kind of, it looks to me like he's doing some kind of multi-body magic there. So although all we can see is kind of that main shape, I think that he's got multiple bodies there. We'll see when he shows the tree in a second. And we see that it looks like Will G on the right is still going through and working with that revolve geometry. And again, I got to say that's a solid approach. That's definitely how I would have approached it, just looking at this thing in the cross-section of the drawing. Ricardo Jean on the left, of course, a seasoned veteran going through and adding in what is basically like a bolt circle to define where the arcs are that are cutting out those little extra areas in this tabbed washer. This part's called tabbed washer, and Ricardo Jean going through there, modifying. Look like he maybe modified his what's it called, feature scope for that extrusion to make sure it was only getting the one. Wow. Talk about having a plan. Ricardo Jean got that first body in place, got that second body in place. Wow, that was, guys, as far as planning goes and creating the geometry, that was really impressive how he was able to have that plan. And Ricardo Jean comes in with an answer in the chat, 1985 grams, and that is correct. And wow, good game to both of our runners. Good game to Ricardo Jean, going in and doing a little bit of draft analysis there on the end to show off the draft on that part. Wow, that was cool. Nice work, Ricardo Jean. Really nice job with kind of coming up with a game plan. Good use of multi-body there. I think that was really impressive how he kind of got into it and decided, you know what, instead of trying to create the one shape and then cut around the other shape, I'm just going to do it with multi-body. Oh, and he's even got his own victory cat there. Okay, nice. Wow. Kind of a manual victory cat there. I like it. Well done. So instead of trying to create that original geometry and fight around that original geometry, Ricardo Jean deciding to go in there and do that with multi-body. I thought that was a really, really clever solution. Definitely an example of somebody who's been around the block as far as SolidWorks goes and kind of was able to quickly come up with a game plan there. I like it. Well done, my friend. Kind of a cool part there too, right? That tabbed washer. That could definitely be like a part that you might need to get prototyped, and you might reach out to our friends over at Xometry to get a part like that prototyped. Whether you're making out of 1060 aluminum, that's definitely one of the materials that they offer. Whatever it is, or I guess 6061, right? 6061. So very cool to see our competitors battle it out there. Make sure you guys put a GG in the chat for the winner, but of course for both of our runners. It's very impressive from both of our runners. Congratulations, Ricardo Jean. Well done, my friend. All right, guys, here we go. That was awesome. Even Matab in the chat. Matab is our winner of the Summer Open just a few months ago, and even Matab in the chat just says, "Wow, yeah, that's how I felt, my friend. That was awesome." So I love seeing people use multi-body like that. It's such a clever workflow, and definitely unlocks a lot of power moves. All right, guys, here we go. Let's get into this next challenge. And of course, in order to get into the next challenge, we have to turn to the Wheel of Fate. And you can see there's only 4 choices. So your clairvoyance could just be based on those 4 choices. Did anybody guess 4 last time? It was Jern, right? Jern guessed 4, I think. Maybe I'm miscrediting him. Oh, a bunch of people guessed 4. Ben guessed 4 last time. He got it right. Oh, just Ben. A bunch of people named Ben. Just one. Good job, Ben. All right, let's see what we got this time around. We got 5, 8, 2, 9, 10, 8. We got Ranjan is in here in the chat. What's up, man? 10, 2, Ben guessed 4. Yep, thank you, Jern. And Dusty Techno, former competitor. Great to see you in here, my friend. Says 8. Kirtan says 9. Let's go. 8, 9, 8, 5, and 10. All right, there is no 5. All right, good. Mason makes things 5. I like it. I like his style. Here we go, guys. Let's give this thing, I'm going to give it a little shuffle first. Shuffle, 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 and spin. Let's see what the Wheel of Fate has in store for us. Looks like it's going to be 9. Number 9. Let's go. Okay, guys. Well, this is going to be a very interesting challenge here for sure. And let's recognize our clairvoyant members of the chat. Of course, it looks like it was Sebastian. See, that's the thing. You could be really good at CAD if you know what challenges are coming up next. It was Kirtan. It was Start. Nice, easy name for me to read. It was Nirav. Nice, 9. It was Matab. 9. I feel. Wait, are you guys coming in with the answers here after I? All right, good job, guys. All right, let's remove that one and let's learn just a little bit more about our runners. So you can see here, Ricardo, he drew the historical Ferrari F40 on his YouTube channel, and he's a YouTube teacher at the beginner level with 280 followers. Yo, congratulations, guys. Visit Ricardo Jean. Let's give Ricardo Jean some follows here on YouTube. And Under Pressure, I design fast like a leopard. Pay attention. I'm dangerous. Yo, Cobra CAD. Cobra CAD never die. And here we see Will G. I design mostly staircases, self-employed, also teach SolidWorks, and I love hiking and trail running. Yo, that's what's up. Guys, if you're going hiking this weekend or camping, or if you've thought about going hiking or camping this weekend, put a 1 in the chat. Let us know. That's what it's all about. Also, how are we doing for likes here in the live stream? We got 145 people watching. How are we doing for likes here? Let's see what we got. 50 likes. Come on, guys. We can do better than that. Hit that like button. Let's get our like count up to matching our ratio of people watching. Hit that like button on your computer, on your TV, on your whatever it is that you're watching on. If you're watching on your refrigerator with a smart screen on the refrigerator, hit the like button on there as well. We got to get this like count up. We can't have 149 people watching. That is awesome. Thank you guys for watching. Let's get the like count up to match that. That's what we need. All right. Well, here we go. We've got Ricardo Jean. He's got 1 point. We've got Will G. He's got 0 points so far. You need 2 points to advance in this tournament. Guys, ready for this? I think we're all ready. Ricardo Jean is our tournament winner from the Spring Open earlier this year. He's trying to become the very first runner to win 2 tournaments. Good luck to all of our runners in this tournament. Thank you all so much for tuning in. The time is now. Here we go. This next CAD battle featuring Ricardo Jean from Italy using SolidWorks, our number 2 seed, going up against Will G from France using SolidWorks, our number 15 seed. This CAD vs. CAD battle begins in 3, 2, 1, go! What is the mass of this part in XXXXX grams? Tolerance is plus or minus 5 grams, and this part is made from red oak. Custom material here. We let our runners know ahead of time the 4 materials we use, and red oak is one of them. And guys, both of our runners already have a screenshot. Both of our runners are already into the CAD system. This is a model that's basically just a bunch of rectangles. So there's not that much exotic in here, but we're gonna see who's got their skills down, who's gonna make a misstep, and who is gonna come up with the correct mass on this thing first. So Will G drawing first blood, I think, maybe Ricardo Jean. Both of them creating a very similar first feature, and both of them now creating that lower section. Let's see what happens here. Sorry, guys, I misspoke about the number 1 seed. I see the chat is lighting up. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, Sebastian is the number 1 seed. We'll show the bracket at the end here again. Wow, guys, both of our runners creating very similar geometry on the bottom. Ricardo Jean creating both of those extrusions for the side legs at the same time. Oh, looks like maybe he's got the incorrect thickness, though, for some of those legs. Let's see what he does to resolve this. Looks like maybe there was a possible misstep there from Ricardo Jean. Didn't realize what the correct thickness was for those legs. And we see that Will G on the right is getting in there and creating that second leg, creating it to the correct thickness. Nice work, Will G. And Ricardo Jean proves me wrong and comes in with the correct but the answer that he comes in with 9941. That is not correct. 9942 is his answer. That is not correct. I was trying to say he had the correct width. I didn't realize his workflow, but his answer is incorrect. 9942 is not correct, and this match continues. I was shocked because I thought he did something wrong and he did it absolutely right, but the math was not correct. 9942, that is not correct. Guys, our runners are allowed to answer incorrectly one time, and then they have a chance to try to fix it. But if you answer incorrectly twice, that's it. FPV Kev says, come on, Ricardo, don't make me unsubscribe to your channel. No pressure, no pressure. Now, Ricardo Jean going around and trying to figure out what is going on with this model. And we're going to see here that we've got Will G. We're going to make sure that we're going to see if Will G here has his custom material in place here. We might be running into a little bit of an issue here with Will G not having the correct material. He may need to put in a custom material or a custom mass here. So we're going to see what he's going to do. It looks like he is going to get in and create a new custom material on the fly for all of us. We do have the material names posted, but Will G is going to get in there, and we're going to see here that both of our runners are very close to submitting their answers. We're watching the chat. And Ricardo Jean comes in with an answer. 10188 grams. And that is correct. And Ricardo Jean is going to move on in this tournament. And potentially a little bit of controversy there. Will G with the custom mesh. We do try to let all the runners know ahead of time about the different custom materials. But there maybe Will G just didn't have that one queued up. It does happen. But wow, guys. Ricardo Jean taking that one down. Made a mistake on his first answer, was able to identify where the mistake was, and was able to come in with the correct answer. Well done, my friend. He tricked me along the way. I thought that maybe he had put in the incorrect depth for those legs on the side, but it looked like he was just planning out to just kind of cut them away. So, wow. And I'm curious, Will G, once you got that custom material in there, did you come up with the correct answer? You can let us know just for a little satisfaction here if you want to check it and see if you did get the correct answer. It's always cool to know. It looked like you were on the right track. It looked like everything was going right for you there. So